All right, welcome back. Big Skin Politics, Week 8. Brandon, Nick. All right, and do we have any thoughts on this last week?
The referees really haven't been... I felt like the week before was worse, but this week was still bad.
No, they haven't improved at all. They still screwed over the Lions, so that was cool.
They screwed over... I mean, I don't know if the Lions would have won.
The Vikings played well.
But the Vikings did play well, but the Lions got some no call, or should have gotten calls for pass interference that didn't happen.
Vikings played well enough to win. That's why I hate referee interference, because if you're a good team, you don't need the help. You know?
You really don't. But aside from that, that's the only thing we're really got to talk about. Redskins at Vikings starting off this week.
The Vikings, they played well enough to beat a team who we have agreed is good. And that was on the road in Detroit, and Kirk Cousins is actually playing out of his mind, honestly. The last 3 weeks, he's really silenced the haters, the doubters, and I think he's crushing it as far as passing goes. Fantasy-wise, I've been enjoying him, just the spillover. I don't have him. I have, Diggs, and it has been nice just counting on that, and I can win my fantasy week. He's playing well, and the Redskins, in a gritty defensive game, lost at home to the Niners, 9-0. It's a boring score, but it kind of emphasizes what the Redskins are. They can make defensive plays, but they can't score anything unless you give them something to score. And honestly, I think it's obvious to just ride the hot hand here. Go with the home team. Go with the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree with you. I honestly think that Kirk Cousins just heard some of the noise about how he can't beat teams above 500, and he started playing a lot better.
Frankly, he is playing a team below 500.
I mean, the Lions, I want to say they could be above 500 just because I think they could have beaten the Cardinals, and they should have beaten the Green Bay. Come on, don't play it off. But go with Vikings. I don't think the Redskins have enough to... They're falling apart.
Kirk Cousins fails against good teams, they say. Well, the Redskins aren't a good team, so they're
not a good team. They're going to get creamed. I feel like Minnesota's going to win by 20 points.
I'd say it's a lock if you can.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Seahawks at Falcons.
So, Seahawks lost to the Ravens. How did you feel about that?
I didn't think the Ravens could pull it off, but they did. Holy crap, I'm excited about that. But I still think, if you look at who the Seahawks played and who the Ravens played, it was a very similar schedule. Same team almost. But for the Seahawks, I still think they're fine. And normally when a good team loses, they bounce back the next week and win. And the Falcons aren't a very good team right now. It's kind of pissing me off because Matt Ryan's still playing really good. I don't even know if he's going to play because
doesn't have an ankle injury.
Seahawks will win this game.
Yeah, I mean, they should. I chose the Falcons as an upset against the Rams just because, I feel the need to pick one upset too many, and that was it. And god dang it, the Falcons just they performed every week.
Matt Ryan performed every week,
but this time they just didn't. They came up flat against arguably their worst opponent, and
they just gave away Mohamed Sanu. I'm pretty sure they're selling. They're trying to get ready for their draft. They're saying done with this year. We'll work for next year.
I mean, if you can't even put. What, they score 10 points? You can't.
That's something like that.
The Rams don't have a good defense, and you scored 10 points. That's pathetic. Rams are the better team, but I expected them to be in a shootout type of thing. It was just an abysmal performance.
Ryan, man.
I know, but you're probably right.
He did get hurt.
I don't care. It was late. It was late in the game. The game was over. Matt Schaub threw their first touchdown. I don't want to hear it. So, yeah, Falcons, I understand they're selling the season. They're 1-6. They'd be dumb not to at this point. So, go with the Seahawks,
I feel bad for Falcons fans at this point, man.
Sorry, Chase. Not you, Chase. Other Chase.
But having just that quarterback and playing that well and just giving up on the season at 1-6 is like, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Chargers at Bears. For some reason, I feel like the Chargers are going to win. Even though they're not a very good team right now, I don't think the Bears are also a good team, and I'm picking an upset on the road.
It's weird that it's an upset, but I found myself thinking the same thing. The Chargers are a competitive team every week, and then they get snake bitten. They'll lose to a bad opponent. They'll allow a team to take an early lead or some crap like that. Did you see how they lost the Titans? 3 plays from the 1-yard line. They fumbled.
I know, but here's another thing. I looked up their stats, and they've scored 140 points, and they've allowed 141 points. So they're not getting blown out. They're losing close games.
Nail biters, huh?
I just feel like they still have a good roster.
They do.
But they're just not putting it together. I don't know what the heck's going on with them. I think Derwin James is still out. Melvin Gordon's, I think, got hurt all over again as soon as he
Melvin
came back.
Gordon, he's who fumbled on the 1-yard line. Yeah.
I think, well, he's hurt now.
He held out for so long.
He held out for so long and got hurt and fumbled on their 1.
He held out for so long, he can no longer hold on to the ball. I say move on. Go to Austin Eckler. Trade him away.
As far as the Bears are playing, just why is their defense so good and their offense is just abysmal?
I think that their offense was good last year, but as a gimmick. And it only took 1 year, and now you know how to play against them. We saw Mitch Trubisky go down, and as a backup, Chase Allen played just as well. And that's a problem when you can have your backup come in and you see virtually no drop-off. Mitch Trubisky is a sellout. Not a sellout, but he's a bust, I'm going to say.
People were saying before that Matt Nagy was able to cover up some of the things Mitch Trubisky couldn't do. I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think they should draft a quarterback. I don't think Trubisky's the answer.
He doesn't have the talent, no.
He doesn't have the talent. He's just big, and he gets hurt all the time.
It's 3 years in, and I'm already saying call it. It's not going to work. And on that note...
The chopping block.
On that note, you got the Chargers, who, although snake bitten, are both good on defense and offense. The Bears are just good on defense.
Give me Phillip Rivers over Trubisky. I'm picking the upset there.
Yeah,
Even if it is an upset, I don't know the spread. I haven't even looked at that spread. It's probably like the Bears are like a 1-point favorite or something, but go with the Chargers there. Moving on, Giants at Lions.
So, who was it the Giants played this last week?
The Cards?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was another upset I picked. So, Cards took an early lead, and they never really let go. They let the Giants back into it based on some special teams play, but, it's funny. Everyone was riding high on the Giants after a 2-win streak, and now they're, I believe, a 2-loss streak, and I think, we start to see the Giants kind of fall back into what they are. I think they're trash, and they only beat, bad teams. I think they'll still notch a couple more wins, but...
trash that beats bad teams.
Exactly, and the Lions are not bad teams, The
Lions ain't no punk. I still feel like the Lions are actually contenders. It's just the referees have put a huge roadblock in front of them, and it just made it so much harder. They should have been Green Bay. I don't know if they would have beat the Vikings, but it would have been a lot closer game.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have came down to a last possession, but it didn't. And in part because of the referees.
Yeah.
I feel like Detroit is a lot better than the record right now.
Well, does it make you kind of wonder that, hey, maybe the Lions will lose to the Giants because of referees?
No, the Giants should be angry and just punch a referee. I don't know.
You mean the Lions, right? You said Giants.
Whatever. The Lions. They should just punch referees and their kids. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Just do something about it.
Just bring the guillotine back. I keep trying to make it trend, man. It'd fix a lot of these problems.
Matt Stafford just became the fastest quarterback at 40,000 yards.
And not a playoff win under his name.
It's not coincidental. The Lions are actually good. Their defense is playing well. Their offense is playing well. But the referees are not allowing them to play well.
Yeah.
As far as the Giants go, Daniel Jones... He hasn't been putting it together lately.
He used all the magic he had.
I mean, maybe it's because they didn't have a lot of tape on him because he was a rookie. I mean, the Cardinals came in there and they beat him.
The Cardinals aren't that bad.
I mean, if you look at it from week 1 and you were guessing what the Cardinals' record would be, one wouldn't think the Cardinals would be good. However, I think the Cardinals are interesting right now because I think they're just a good old line away from maybe like a linebacker away from being pretty good.
I think they're fine right
I
now.
like Kyler Murray. I think he's a pretty good QB.
Yeah. I think they're fine right now. Go with the Lions. It should be an easy pick, over the
If
Giants.
the referees screw the freaking Lions over, oh my God. Just bring the guillotine out, please. Just in Detroit. It's in Detroit. Where's the guillotine?
I mean,
Fans are going to want to see some murder. They're going to be like, all right, but there's no way 4 referees can stop 53 freaking people on the roster. Just string them up. Some old William Wallace torture stuff. I don't know.
I mean, guillotines are typically in France, so let me know when someone comes back from France and we'll figure it out. So what's the next one?
I mean, William Wallace was...
What's the next one?
He got stretched out by horses. Watch Braveheart. Anyway, Jets at Jaguars.
Okay, so remember what we had said about the Jets being overrated?
I thought they could be a little better than people think, but I think Adam Gase is a turd and he's a terrible offensive mastermind. And
we said 1-4 specifically.
He got shut out by the Pats, and Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts.
Yep. And if you take away their defensive scores, the Jets are averaging 4 points a game.
They didn't even have a defensive score.
I know. I know, it's fun. Take away their defensive scores, the Jets are averaging 4 points a game. That is pathetic. 4 points a game. Low end. A field goal and part of another field goal.
It's true. Look it up. I just saw a thing today that the Jets said that they drafted Sam Darnold to beat the Patriots. Oh my! They got a long way to go if you want to beat the Patriots.
Well,
oh my God! You got to score more than 0 points to beat the Patriots.
You got to score more than 0 points to beat anyone.
I mean, you could tie at 0, but can you score 2 points in a game? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they did give the Patriots 2 points. All right, they did fumble in their own end zone.
Yeah. The Jets are pathetic. We have said it. We said verbatim they'd go 1-4. Okay? We said exactly that. Adam Gase, and what's even better is we know the Jets are going to suck next year too, because we pointed out how they just obliterated their cap this year. The Jets are going to continue to be bad.
Well, your cap can recuperate the year after, though.
Possibly.
Depending on how good your GM is, but they look awful.
Who do you think Adam Gase is going to blame for that game? Because he's probably going to let someone go, guarantee it.
I don't know, but how did the Cowboys lose to that team? I was watching that game like the Cowboys lost to this team. Give me the Jags. I don't even have to explain the Jags to know that the Jags are going to win.
Jags are surprisingly feisty. They had a strong showing defensively over the Bengals, and granted, the Bengals are the only other winless team, but Jags just trounced them in the fourth quarter. 3 interceptions. I think the Bengals need to pull away from Andy Dalton at this point, but Gardner Minshew, the Jags are consistent is what it is. I'd say they're a great team to be your baseline for the AFC right now. They'll beat anyone worse than them. They'll lose to anyone better than them. I'd say they are the 8th team in the AFC right now. They're solid. They're good, but not great. And it's crazy because they're running on a backup right now. But
their backup's not bad.
Exactly.
I think Nick Foles could still get the starting job when he comes back, but Jets on a short week going on the road to the Jaguars. Give me the Jags all freaking day.
It's an easy choice.
Easy choice. Moving on, Bengals at Rams. This is another easy choice. Holy crap.
So who's worse, the Bengals or the Jets?
If you showed me last night's Jets, I would say last night's Jets because that looked pathetic. They couldn't even move the ball. Sam Darnold looks so inaccurate.
He was just throwing balls away.
But the Bengals haven't won a game, though.
Yeah.
Granted, a couple of their games have been close. Same with the Jets, though. But, they did win a game. They beat the Cowboys. If that goes to show you how bad the Cowboys could possibly be. That's tough to say. I don't know who's worse there.
Well, Bengals haven't even had a bye yet either. And they've lost to bad teams as well.
They both have new coaches. One has a veteran quarterback, one doesn't. That's like coin flip for me, man. But the Rams are just, even though they're not as dominant as they were the year before, Give me the Rams all day on this, man. There is no way in hell that the Bengals are traveling cross country and beating the Rams.
Right, this one's a lock.
Unless the Rams don't practice.
No, I pick on the Rams a lot this year. I say they're worse than they act. I say people think they're better than they actually are. I don't care how bad I think they are. They won't lose to the Bengals. I mean, straight up, the Bengals are trash. And there's no nice way to put that. That's all the analysis you need to see on this game is just the teams playing each other. It's going to be the Rams. There is nothing about it. If you're big on fantasy, start all your Rams players. Straight up. Just.
Does it concern you that the Rams got almost shut out by the Seahawks, though? In their own home.
What?
The Rams. Or not the Seahawks. The Niners. Excuse me. The Rams played the Niners.
Oh, right. Okay, the other week. Not really. We saw the Niners are a good defense. The Bengals aren't a good defense. They're riding high on how last year they were the worst statistical defense. They're still close.
Yeah, but I mean, I figured the Rams would put up more points than just the touchdown against the Niners.
Whatever. This is about the Bengals. The Bengals can't stop anyone either. The Bengals are what stared Kyler Murray on a 3-game win.
I think they're the 31st ranked defense right now.
Actually, a fun fact.
The Bengals are bad, especially against the run. They cannot stop the run game. If you want to beat the Bengals, just
what's funny is everyone who's beat the Bengals goes on a win streak. It looks like Cardinals are now on a 3-game win streak. Steelers on a 2-game win streak.
Ravens
Jags
on
a
2-game
1
win streak.
Yeah.
Go with the Rams all day. There's
easy.
Bucks at Titans.
I went with the Titans as my lock for this week. I kind of don't feel great about it, but like I thought, what?
Just go with the Jags as your lock.
I can't pick against the Jets,
Yeah.
but Titans played well enough to win. They beat Rivers. It came down to strong defense, snub-nosed football. Bucks, Jameis Winston is coming off a 2-week off of a bye from London, and he came off the worst statistical performance of his career. 5 INTs, 1 fumble. Darnold almost matched that last night. Fun fact. Almost. So
Still
close.
managed to score 26 points.
A lot of it came in garbage time, though.
I don't know how.
But that really bugs me, and I kind of feel like if the Bucks want to turn themselves around, they need to depart from Jameis Winston. They need to do what the Panthers did. Look at your starting quarterback and be like, you know what? We were sold on you, but you're definitely not going to cut it.
Do you think Jameis Winston is as bad as Cam Newton, though? Because
Yeah.
I think Cam Newton you can't even win a game with Cam Newton the way he's playing right now. He's throwing like a girl.
Well, you're not going to win a game with 6 turnovers.
This girl still scored 30 or 26 points.
I don't care.
Jameis Winston is a turnover machine, but he still gets points. I don't know how.
Whatever. Titans are a good defense. Bucks are a good offense. And last time the Titans played a team with a good offense, they won. It's actually their thing. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Browns. Browns arguably have a good offense. So I think they just match up well against high-powered offenses. So I'd say Titans should be a fairly safe pick. Part of me doesn't like it, but
Because they're coming off a bye?
I think that might be what it is.
Dude, I don't care. I think the Titans are better. They got a different quarterback. Their defense is, I think, 4th in the NFL right now. Their defense is playing pretty good. They're way better than the Buccaneers are right now.
Right on.
I think the Buccaneers season isn't over right now, but
It's on life support.
1 or 2 more losses. They might start selling people for picks. Anyway, Eagles at Bills.
All right, so that was a bad performance from the Eagles on Sunday night. I kind of feel like Cowboys poured it on and also got away with some bad calls early. I felt Awuzie definitely knew where he was planting his foot. He intended to, tangle the feet, and they just didn't call it. But they did contribute to 2 turnovers early, and that kind of sealed them in the coffin. I felt they just never tried to fight out of it. They are injured, but I'm not going to rule the Eagles out. That's 2 bad losses in a row for them, but I think they're fine.
They dug themselves a hole early.
Yes.
In that Cowboys game, if you turn the ball over on your side of the field, it was on like their 45 and then their like 18-yard line.
Yeah, something like that.
2 possessions in a row, and the Cowboys took an early lead. They were
It's not
They
worth
never
fighting
recovered.
back at that point, honestly. And you could just potentially injure more people in what is ultimately meaningless.
Eagles need to make a trade before the deadline. If they really want to get back into the playoffs, because I thought they were going to, but at this point it doesn't look like they're going to, that secondary is just so beat up, and Buffalo's defense is just too good.
Well, that's the funny thing. So I said that it could be a weird thing. Maybe the Dolphins could upset the Bills. We figured out a stat line. If you can score more than 21 points, you can beat the Bills. All of the Bills' wins have came while allowing 21 points or less, with the exception of a Giants garbage time TD, right?
Okay.
That held true until Miami, shot themselves in the foot, gave up a turnover on their own 20-yard line and an onside kick return. But you take that out, and what do you know? They were at 17. Miami could have won. So the question is, you just got to score more than 21 points on the Bills. It's a great defense. It's built for clock control. And the Dolphins showed that if you have the lead, the Bills look all out of sorts. They like to play from in front and control the flow of the game.
Because you can't throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, they got desperate, and they needed the turnovers Miami gave them, and that's what let them back in. So that makes me think that the Eagles have the potential to pull the upset here, because I think their offense is good enough to score more than 21 points.
Dude, the Eagles look like crap against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys aren't even a good... They just lost to the Jets! But I think the Eagles have more injuries and more problems stemming from more than just their secondary. They look bad freaking offensively and defensively. I don't know about the Eagles right now. I might be jumping off that bandwagon.
I think the stat line is, can the Eagles score 21 points on the Bills? I say yes, and I think that'll be enough to win.
It's in Buffalo. It's on the road. I don't think they can.
So
I don't think their offense is good enough to score 21 points against the Bills' defense. I'm going with the Bills.
I'll go with the Eagles. I'll pick the upset.
I'm not. Anyway, Broncos at Colts.
So the Colts are winning their division now. That feels a little bit weird to say. Broncos, they got utterly obliterated by the Chiefs. Don't the Chiefs have a bad defense? You would not have known it watching that game. What did they give up? 9 sacks on Flacco?
9 sacks, and the thing is, they didn't even have a good defense going into that game, so it just makes me wonder how bad is the Broncos' offense. How bad is their O-line? Holy crap.
Or at the very least, maybe how good is the Chiefs' pass rush?
How many? I don't know, but for Christ's sakes, how often does 9 sacks ever happen in the NFL? That is rare.
They were talking about breaking a record during that game. So
that's
clearly
once
that's
a
not
year
common.
thing, and that was their one game. There's no way that was a mulligan. There's no way that was an outlier. I think the Broncos online is just bad.
Yeah. So I think
do the Colts have a good pass rush?
I think they have a good defense. They limited the Chiefs to 13. They limited that high-powered Texans offense that we were giving credit to just 23. So, yeah.
But the Colts were coming off a bye, and the Texans were also pretty injured.
Possibly.
I still feel like the Texans are a better team.
Fine, and I agree with you. But I think in the realms of this matchup, the Colts are the better team. So
absolutely. The Broncos, I feel so bad for Flacco, but whatever.
I think they should start punting their season too. There's a lot of teams I think should already start selling
yes.
now.
Well, especially because the trade deadline's in 6 days, so better start selling some players for draft picks.
There you go.
Cardinals at Saints.
All right, so I believe Drew Brees is back.
I don't even think it matters if he's back or not. Cards are going to lose.
Probably. The real story here is not Breeze. It's not Kamara. It is that defense. It outjags the Jags in Jacksonville. It outbears the Bears in Chicago. That is the best defense in the god-dang league, and I don't care who can argue with it.
It travels. Defense will travel. Run games will travel.
So Drew Brees coming back, it just makes the best team in the league already better. And yeah, I'm sticking with that. They should be undefeated right now.
Drew Brees
I picked him at the start of the year. I figured Drew Brees would cause them to stumble a bit. I did not expect this. They have rallied hard. And, Cardinals are riding well, and I appreciate what the Cardinals have done, but this is a masterclass. This is out of their league.
They're probably just so pissed and so motivated from that NFC Championship game.
Yeah, so
if they don't win the Super Bowl, I feel for you guys, man.
But yeah, so I think Cards have played well. I do not think they stand a ghost of a chance against this defense, offense, just the Saints.
That'll be good practice for Kyler Murray, though.
Absolutely. It'd be a good opponent to practice on.
I really want to see how good he's going to do next year. I think the Cards can be good next year.
I know. What's the next one?
Panthers at Niners.
All right, so Niners, 9 points on the Redskins. Still good enough to win.
It's also the Skins.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're undefeated right now, and you got to give respect to that. But
Sure.
they've clearly figured out what they are. Smash mouth, win in the trenches, control the clock, and prevent you from scoring. It's worked. You can't argue with that. They get the turnovers they need when they need them. The Panthers, they became a better team ever since they benched Cam Newton. They're undefeated under a backup, and it makes you think, had they not started with Cam Newton, would they be in the similar boat? I think this is an interesting one because I actually don't think the Niners have faced many good opponents.
This is their first good defense.
Good defense, good offense, good balance. The Rams are a good offense, they're a bad defense. The Bucks, good offense, bad defense. This is the first balanced team.
Is that even a good offense?
I don't
It
care.
just puts up yards and no points.
It's a balanced team, and I think this is an interesting challenge. If the Niners can beat the Panthers, we have something special going on. That is a team that's basically almost a lock for the playoffs by week 7. It would be the biggest win of their year. That being
Absolutely.
said,
If they beat the Panthers, that's a lock for me for the playoffs. And it's sad just because, not sad, but the Niners look like the best all-around team to me right now. Just because they got the defense. They got a smothering defense. Great pass rush. Great against the run. They got a great run game between Matt Breida. They got
Devonta Freeman too.
Awesome freaking tight end. I love George Kittle. It's just
No.
anyone could be in quarterback and win.
Okay.
You could put any backup quarterback and they'll win with the freaking Niners right now. That's how good their team is.
Yeah, there we go. You didn't say it. I'm proud of you.
Garoppolo.
God damn. But yeah, and on that note, I think this is probably going to be like game of the week
Wait
material.
a minute. Didn't he only have like 10 passing yards in the first half last week?
Yeah. We've said he's overrated.
They won with 10 passing yards, and then he finished with like 182 in the second half. But
He met his interception quota.
I'm telling you, man, he ain't that good. It's just
I know. We'll see. I mean, but whatever. On all those notes, though, I think the Panthers are kind of like the Saints right now, where they're a great team, just their starting quarterback went away, and they're still thriving. I think they are arguably a top 5 team in the NFL right now. It's crazy to say, but they are just, it doesn't matter the type of opponent on the road, at home, defense, offense, they are competing to their opponent and they're outbeating them in that type of game.
Just give the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Like, that guy is freaking superhuman.
And on that note, I say I haven't seen the Niners face a good rounded team yet. And I say I think the Panthers pull the upset.
Do you think they'll be a little surprised?
Absolutely.
They'll be like, whoa, well, these guys are better than the Redskins.
Well, yeah. I think the Panthers are the best team they've played yet, you know? And I think this will
have
be...
to play yet.
Yeah. And I think it'll be eye-opening. And if the Niners can beat this, holy crap, they are real. But I don't think they beat them here. I give it to the Panthers.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners won.
I wouldn't, but I'm picking the Panthers.
Same.
Okay.
Anyway, Raiders at Texans.
Raiders, they went toe-to-toe with the Packers.
Until a weird goal line fumble that kind of turned things around and just got ugly from there. The Raiders are okay.
They are good. I will say good.
But the Texans, they're a good team coming off a loss. And I said before, good teams coming off a loss normally win the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Texans at home. Give me the Texans at home.
I mean, I feel more thought can go into it to that. I agree with you in the end, but I looked at this one and I played with the idea of an upset for a while. I mean,
I did too, though.
The Raiders beat the Colts at home, and the Colts just beat the Texans. And we were talking about how few teams could beat the Texans, given how that offense had looked. I think the Raiders are real. I think that if they beat themselves, they beat themselves with mistakes. And the Texans are a team that if you make mistakes, they will punish you for. So give it to the Texans by virtue of just the Raiders will make a mistake, and that'll give the Texans the ground they need.
Do you think the Raiders are going to draft a quarterback?
No, I think
I'm seeing some mock drafts of them drafting quarterbacks, and I think it's kind of dumb. I think
Carr's
Derek
great.
Carr's just fine.
Yeah.
Maybe just John Gruden doesn't like him. I don't know. But
Possible. I don't know. But I think the Raiders are way ahead on their becoming the Vegas Raiders. I think they are good now.
Next year,
I think they're good now. I think they could be a playoff team. Honestly, wild card at least.
I think they'll be like 500, 8-8, 9-7, somewhere around there. But
they've still got easy opponents.
Just give it one more year. When they move to Vegas, they'll be good.
All right.
It'll be lights and shiny. It'll be the Vegas Raiders show.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know. John Gruden's kind of weird.
Well, I'll go with the Texans.
All right. Browns at the Patriots.
So, the Browns and the Pats. So, the Pats are nigh unbeatable, I guess. It's that you're hearing stats about how their defense is statistically the best ever. Please stop that. That is not
Shut
even...
the hell up.
Yes. They played by far the easiest
it's not even close, man. They're
combined, all their opponents, I think, have 7 wins among them. 8?
0.286 is
8
their
wins
win
among
percentage.
all 7 of their opponents.
They're like the Steelers, the Redskins, the Giants, the Jets twice, and the Dolphins. And the Bills almost beat them.
Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, but like 12 maybe. It's the weakest one I've seen ever. And the Bills could have won. The Patriots got a defensive play on them, and they only won by 6. But whatever. The Patriots are good. We don't need to hear this bullshit statistic about how, is it the best defense ever? No! Their schedule was front-loaded. It was easy for them. Look at all those teams.
Man.
Yes.
You can't be like, they beat the 0-6 this, the 0-5 this, they're just so good, and they beat another defeated team. It's like, okay, all your opponents have won a game combined.
Yeah, like I said, it's very, very easy.
Dumb. It's padding your stats. I mean, not saying that their defense sucks, but the bad teams are padding their stats by a mile.
They are a great defense, but they look unbeatable right now.
There is no way they're better than the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens. There's just no way.
But whatever. As far as this matchup goes, I liked the Browns hype train. I gotta get off. I'm tired of them disappointing me every week. I think they're crushing my picks. I keep on picking them. They keep letting me down. If any team...
Even if they were undefeated, I wouldn't pick the Browns to walk in undefeated to beat the Patriots. Because you're playing the Patriots in their own game, in their own house.
Yeah.
Almost no team wins in New England.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield should have been studying for this game all year as opposed to making commercials. I think the Pats are just going to have their way here. 30-10 probably, just something like that.
Yeah.
Patriots easy.
Packers at Kansas City.
So, even though they won, Mahomes is injured.
That's pretty sad considering that was basically our only hope as the AFC to beat the Patriots in the championship.
No big deal. He's only out for 3 weeks. Granted.
3-5 though. It's a dislocated kneecap. I don't know how deep this injury goes. It says 3 to 5 weeks, but I mean, are you really being optimistic saying 3 weeks? Coming back after your ankle was just messed up and now your kneecap was just dislodged. Do you feel good about playing an injury-prone quarter? No, maybe not injury-prone. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. But do you feel good about playing good after having just those injuries? Like, wouldn't that mess him up psychologically? Like, I just screwed my ankle up. I just screwed my knee up. And Andy Reid's calling a QB draw after I've just been out for 3 weeks.
I don't know, but in the confines of this game, all of that is irrelevant. All I know is Mahomes is out. Rodgers is the best quarterback right now.
Touchdowns, like 430 yards.
Yeah.
You're not losing games. 6 touchdowns and 430 yards.
Rodgers played out of his frickin' mind. It was amazing, honestly. And I think had Mahomes been healthy, this would have been. This would have been Rams KC last year.
I would have picked Kansas City had friggin' Mahomes been playing, but I mean maybe they'll have a little bit better of a game plan with Matt Moore because that Kansas City offense looked like crap with Matt Moore.
Matt Moore was a Dolphin. I know Matt Moore can't perform. He can come in and win a game or 2 against a bad opponent. Packers aren't a bad opponent.
Don't they have more of a plan? They might score a touchdown.
Well, yeah, I think they can run in a touchdown.
Give me Green Bay all day on this, man.
It's a lock, honestly. Green Bay.
Dolphins at Steelers.
Okay.
Kick it off here.
So, by chance, are you picking the obvious upset here?
Because I am. It's an obvious upset. I'm playing it safe, and I'm rolling with the Steelers on this one.
I'm picking the obvious upset. All right, so the Dolphins have looked better the last couple weeks, believe it or not. They arguably could have beat the Bills. They crushed themselves with turnovers. They would have went 21-9 through an interception in the end zone. On the next kickoff, next play, another turnover. Then they got back in it, down by just 3, gave up an onside kick. They were arguably in control of that game, and they have played better. All right.
What about the week before?
Week before, that was the Redskins' loss, and when Fitzpatrick came in for that one quarter, they almost won there too. It was a bad play call. They lost, whatever. But they've played differently. They've responded differently, okay? The Steelers, we have said so many times, they are suckers for trap games, okay? They started their season off poorly, 1-4, all right? And then they finally get a win against a cross country against the Chargers, and arguably,
is it though?
But if I know the Steelers, they are going to be so happy about that. Then they're going to look at the opponent and be like, "Oh, it's the Dolphins," and not practice, and then the Dolphins are going to come out and punch them in the mouth. If I know the Steelers and I know the Dolphins, that is what will happen. Granted, Dolphins can't play on prime time, so it's a coin toss here. But, god dang, I need a win. And I desperately want one, and I think picking the Dolphins here isn't that much of a stretch.
I would laugh so hard if the freaking Steelers lost to the Dolphins on national television. Mike Tomlin is not a very disciplinary coach.
No.
He doesn't have a disciplined team.
This happens to the Steelers.
We saw it last year. You guys lost to the Raiders and the Broncos. We shouldn't have.
Yeah, it happens every year. How do you have so much talent and you keep on allowing this to happen year in, year out?
Hall of Fame talent.
Year in, year out. This always happens to the Steelers. Where they see an opponent like this, they laugh. Who did the Raiders beat last year? The Steelers. People didn't think the Raiders would beat anyone last year.
They also lost to the Broncos when that could have been an easy win, but whatever.
My point is, it's the best time if the Dolphins are going to get a win, outside of against the Jets, of course.
But we'll beat the Dolphins. No, we don't even need to practice.
I kind of wonder if maybe the Dolphins, they're coming off a bye, right? Yeah, they didn't lose last week, so yeah. No, wait, they did. I feel like maybe rather than studying as hard as they could for the Bills, they're studying for the Steelers. You know, they're taking their tanking to an art. They're like, we got that Steelers draft pick. We got to make them lose to make their draft pick better for us. And then we can go back to losing. Like, then we can control.
So you would still have the first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
It's just in order to, just by beating them, it makes their draft pick even worse.
Exactly.
Just like
that'd be some crazy.
2 wins
in
one.
Yeah. But anyway, if one of those wins was against the Steelers, that'd be amazing. But all in all, I'll pick the Dolphins. You're rolling with the Steelers. We actually had a good week last week. You went 10-3. I went 9-4 because I picked one upset too many.
Do you kind of think the AFC North is trash?
Yeah, I do.
Besides, like what the Ravens have just done recently,
the Ravens have more wins than the rest of your division combined. I think if you win one more crazy upset, then you can consider yourself a lock for the playoffs. It's not often by week 7 and week 8 that a division seems wrapped up, but
it's a long road to the playoffs, though. And I mean, the Browns' schedule does get easier.
If anyone could take it from you, it'd be them. But
even Pittsburgh, dude.
You still got some opponents that you can prey on, like the Jets and the Bengals again.
Can't wait to play the Jets. Sam Darnold's going to be seeing ghosts and demons and goblins. He'll be like, I saw Santa too. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Yes.
He saw ghosts. He said he was seeing ghosts on the sideline.
Right.
You know what's up.
But,
he was so inaccurate. He didn't even look like he could freaking hit a window from like 10 feet away.
Why a window?
I don't know, because there's a big window in front of me, and
Fair
I use that
enough.
as a
All
reference.
right. I feel we're stammering. Tune in next week. We'll see how we do. Thanks. Bye.
Peace out.